my pants fell down a little. So this guy who was behind me, he saw that because I was like trying to pull him up. He was like, "It's that big, man?" You know, I was like, I just started laughing right there. That was so funny.
Welcome back to No Substitutes, the show where I have on some of my favorite people and we talk about what ingredients make them who they are. And I have a very special guest today.
Ooh.
I know most of you have seen his movies.
Ooh.
And we actually haven't worked together, but
Right.
we'll see after this.
There's hope.
Yeah, there's hope. Please welcome Dredd.
Hey. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, how
Pleasure
are
to be
you?
here.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Good, yeah.
Nice to finally meet you.
I know. We've only talked on the phone a few times.
A few times. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Well, yay. I'm glad you can make it.
Yes.
Oh, well, let's get into it. Let's see. What are 3 ingredients you need to make it in your profession?
Oh, 3 ingredients.
Not like,
Not like sugar and spice.
Yeah.
We're not talking about mom's, okay.
chicken piccata.
Right. Well, 3. I don't know. Let me see if I could ramble some off. I mean, number 1, I would say you got to have the desire
Right.
to make it. I think you have to have the maturity. Okay. You got to have that. You got to have maturity in this. And in these days and times, social media is so prevalent, you know what I mean? You got to have thick skin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, online, it's just a bunch of madness.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know. So, but I would say the desire, number 1, first and foremost, to, you got to want it. You got to want to, achieve with what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. I like that. Those are, I don't think I've heard those ones yet.
Yeah, I would hope they're original, but that's how I kind of, look at it. Other people may have different reasons or, different ingredients, you know what I mean? But for me, that was always the I would say the key.
Right.
Yeah.
How many years has it been now for you?
Well, you know what? It's a little deceptive because all right, I'll give you the breakdown.
Okay.
I'm going to break it down for you. Down. Okay. So I actually started in 2009, right?
Okay.
And I did maybe, I don't know, 20, 30, maybe something like that amount of scenes. And I came to the realization that it wasn't for me.
Oh, okay.
I said, it's a lot harder than I thought. I don't have that desire like I thought I was going to have. And I left. So the same year I started is the same year I left. A lot of people don't know that. So I was gone 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then 2015 is when I jumped back in. And then the floodgates opened. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people think that I just, Dredd's the OG. He's been doing this forever. Yeah, I've been doing it a while, but there was a long gap there. And that's the story. 2015, I came back and I was just on a mission, That's when the desire was like times 20.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. Because I'll tell you what happened. It was very difficult that first go around. And like I said, I just, I think most guys have this thing in them where they see porn and they go, I could do that. Put me in, coach. I got this covered. And that's definitely what I thought. But then the reality is you get on that set, you got a bunch of people there.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like a test run. You know what I mean? I didn't know I was walking into the actual, And so, and it just, I never got over that hump of like having the comfort, you know what I mean? And so, that's why that didn't work. But when I came back, I was like struggling financially. Okay. And the girl I was talking to who was making all this sweet money, and she's like, all I do is webcam, She's like, you got a name in this? Because, when I did what I did in 2009, it was for a studio that, had a big name. Mm-hmm. So my name got out there and it was like, hey, whatever happened to this guy?
Right.
So this girl was like, it's there waiting for you. Why don't you go back and And I was like, no, that ship sailed. It's not for me. And we had this back and forth going for months. And then she finally convinced me. And so I said, all right, if I'm going to do this now, that was the deal.
Was 2015 when OF started?
I think OF came around in like 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I feel like that made the desire and also the, it gave a lot of performers options. It gave a lot of performers more say in what they wanted to shoot and got to shoot. So
sure.
I feel like that makes it a lot easier to jump back in.
That freedom and independence, that was like a game changer for me. And I'm sure for a lot of people too. So yeah, definitely.
Nice. What was your first scene like?
Oh my God. That was the struggle. The struggle was real. Yeah, the struggle was real. And I didn't have no life jacket.
Deep waters immediately.
Deep waters, barely knowing how to swim. I'm struggling. The girl I was working with, she's looking at her phone. She's, what time is it? Okay. And I'm like, oh God, please. Struggling. Everybody's whispering, you think he's going to be able to do. And so first scene was a struggle. I got it done, but I was like, this isn't supposed to be this difficult. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I just, and all of them, all the ones I did, in 2009 were a struggle. That's why it's so funny to me when fans say, man, I really love your old stuff. I was like, you do? That stuff? Okay, good. That's great.
That's great.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, it was, first scene was a struggle in all of them in 2009. Nothing was easy. No.
And you never dabbled in taking some enhancements?
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was definite, But and I felt like that was my armor, you know what I mean? I felt like, okay, now I really got this. But the thing is this, as a lot of guys learn, is that's not like the magic pill a lot of people think it is. You know what I mean?
There's I haven't done too much research, but isn't there some pretty bad effects long term?
Well, I mean, I think the side effects that come with it, but I just know it's an enhancement, like you said. It's not you take this and now you suddenly turn into
Superman,
the Man of Steel. You know what I mean? No, everything's got to be just right in order for that to work. And all the situations I was in taking it were like pressure cookers. You know what I mean? Like where I walk in the door. And everybody's going, the man is here. He's arrived, trying to boost my confidence. But at the same time, it was also making me go back into that shell. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. You seem very low key and kind of keeps to yourself for someone who's very, very well known in the industry. Oh,
yeah. No, what you see is real. A lot of people, I think it's safe to say there's a misconception about me, as a person, because you see what you see online and in the movies, and you just see all this action going on. So you're like, this guy, he's a bad mother. And I'm not saying I'm not, you know what I mean? But very down to earth, very humble, you know what I mean? Very appreciative that I'm in the situation I'm in, so.
It's funny you say that, because when we were doing research on you, and I was listening to your interviews and stuff, you kind of the perfect textbook definition of speak softly and carry a big stick.
Yeah. I could take that. That definitely applies.
Definitely carries a big stick.
Yeah. Definitely carry the big stick. Yeah, for sure. But, I kind of I don't know. I mean, people will say, oh man, that Dreddy, such a nice guy. But, in my adult life, I was just used to working, just regular, company, corporate stuff, So I just kind of transitioned that into this. Sometimes I shoot with girls, they're like, man, you're just so nice. And I'm like, really? I'm like, what are other guys like that you shoot? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just being cordial,
and professional.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. That goes a long way.
It does, for sure. What is the biggest lesson you've learned in your career so far?
Biggest lesson that I've learned is that if you really want to make things happen, you got to do it on your own. I'm telling you, because look, the dynamic for performers has always been like, yeah, we get, the recognition and all that, but whoever's behind the scenes gets all the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, my lesson was grab the bull by the horns, try and do your own thing. I think that's for me personally, I think that's the best way to do it. I'm not saying I'm a anti, mainstream. Do whatever, but I think every performer should have some kind of a hold on just their own thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? First and foremost.
Yeah. No, for sure. Anytime I've talked to some girls, they just, because I didn't have an agent and I never wanted one.
Yeah.
Only for a few months. It was not a good person, but over that.
Yeah.
But I just remember loving that independence.
Right.
And then there are just some girls that are like, no, I just want to be able to answer texts and have them take care of everything.
Yeah.
I just want to be told where to go,
Right.
what to do.
Yeah. I've heard that so many times. If I had
Yeah.
a dime for every time I heard that, you know, and I'm just like,
So
okay.
it works for some, but
Right.
I definitely was one of those people that was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm always had my OF going and stayed consistent with that as
Smart.
well as,
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure.
If you knew before your first scene that you would become one of the most recognizable people in the adult film industry, would you have still done it?
You know what? At that time, in 2009, no.
No.
I would not have. I didn't sign up for that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I signed up for, at that time, additional income, things were tight and just, in fact, I remember I tried to talk to the guys that shot those scenes. I said, do you really need to put my face on the cover and all that? And they're like, well, yeah, why? And I was like, oh, okay. Well, is there any way you could not do it? Maybe just, because I was trying to, in a weird way, and I think a lot of people deal with this, trying to almost stay anonymous.
I get that.
You know what I mean? Because I wanted to just dip my foot into the pool, not go all the way in.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, no, I would not have. Yeah, I didn't sign up for but it's cool. You know what I mean? I'm all right with it. Mm-hmm. But no, I would not have. No.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah, because a lot of people who don't know me and they just think what they think. It's a weird thing. You got to get used to that. You know what I mean? When people have this, it's like a misconception. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Who did the cooking in your family growing up?
Well, I am of Caribbean descent.
Ooh.
Yeah, even I was born here, but my parents, South America, Guyana. I don't know if you ever heard of Guyana?
Maybe.
Okay. Do you remember the phrase "don't drink the Kool-Aid"?
Yes.
That came,
that came from there?
It came from Guyana. Yeah, I hate
Okay.
to say it, but this whole thing, this guy who was in a cult and he had all these people go down there. Anyway, it's a different podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm used to spicy food, growing up around curry. I don't know how familiar you are with Caribbean food, but curry chicken, curry beef, all that kind of stuff,
I went to Cuba this year and it was, I feel like it's similar.
It's kind of, maybe kind of close. Similar.
Close-ish.
How'd you like it?
It was good.
Okay.
Oh, the visiting the country,
Yeah.
it was a lot. It was intense, but
Did you
very beautiful.
Did you at least have a Cuban sandwich?
No,
Gotta have that.
I couldn't find it
Oh,
anywhere.
okay.
But a lot of their food was like that, just sauteed
For
meat,
sure.
rice, some plantains here and there.
The plantains, yes.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No, that's what I was raised on. I don't, as I've gotten older, you can't really go all out on that spicy food. You know what I'm saying? You'll be paying for it the next day. So I kind of try to minimalize it. You know what I mean? And obviously, my parents are down in Florida, so I'm not really eating that kind of stuff as much. But that's what I was kind of raised with. You know? Yeah.
Okay, so Caribbean.
Caribbean food, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like jerk chicken.
Jerk chicken,
You
yeah.
know? Jerk pork, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's yummy.
Oxtails.
Ooh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Ugh.
Maybe we'll get Caribbean for lunch.
Ooh. Yeah.
I haven't had Caribbean food in a long time.
Oh, it's great.
Is there any good Caribbean in Los Angeles?
You gotta, that's the thing. You gotta find it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I know of one or two, but when I lived down in Florida, in Miami, they're like on every corner, you
Yeah.
know? Like there's a donut shop on every corner here. There's like some kind of a Caribbean spot down there. So you got to really find it out here, but it's here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because LA's kind of a melting pot.
It
Have
is.
some options.
It definitely is, but like specifically for that kind of food, like you'll find it more like maybe like downtown.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've noticed a few places since I've been living here, only 6 years, but a few places have popped up, which I was like, all right, that's cool. You know, they're starting to bring the flavor out here, you know?
Yeah. Well, what was your favorite snack as a kid?
Favorite snack as a kid? I'm gonna tell you something. Between you and me and everybody else out there, I had a thing for I had a sweet tooth.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was anything with like a cream filling.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I gotta watch how I say that.
Yeah.
Be careful with that cream filling stuff. Gotta be careful with that. But I mean, like anything, cake with the cream,
Right.
or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just that was my my snacks. I wish I could sit here and tell you I was more of like a health nut. You know what I mean? Eating oats and stuff, but no, I was letting it rip with like. Just I don't know, Twinkies. You know,
Right.
give me a Twinkie, I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you grew up in the Bronx, right?
Grew up, born and raised in the Bronx. You ever been there?
No.
Okay.
I've been to New York. But
Okay. Yep. Born and raised in the Bronx, and then did like what most people up in the Northeast do once they get tired of the cold and the snow. They move down south.
Yeah.
So then went down to Florida and was in South Florida until about 6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, if you can remember, which place had better food, the Bronx or Florida?
Close, very, very, very similar because there's a lot of Caribbean people up there in New York, just like there is down in South Florida. So very, very similar. All the good stuff Caribbean-wise you could get up there, you could find great places down there. So it's hard to say who had I guess if I had to say who has the edge, probably New York, in the Bronx,
Right.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. What are some of your favorite memories from your childhood?
Oh, okay. Favorite memories. Family time, coming from a big family. Just the togetherness
Yeah.
that you have when I would hope most people have had that in their lives. Some people don't, you know what I mean? Maybe if it's just like an only child situation. See, I was like the opposite of that, we were like that show, remember Eight is Enough? I think that was way before your time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You see, I'm showing my age. I'm showing my age with that one, people. 8 is enough. Oh my God. Well, yeah, it was a big family. We didn't have 8. We had 7.
Oh, close enough.
Close enough. Yeah. And so that feeling of togetherness and we're all in this together,
Right.
kind of thing. Some of my most fondest memories, going back and just everything we did as like a unit. You know what I mean? So those are some of the fondest memories for sure.
I feel like once you hit like 5 kids, it's pretty much like
Ooh.
having your own sports team.
Yeah.
So
How do you manage that? I don't know.
now I'm the oldest of 5, so
Okay.
I was not a team player though.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Hate to admit, but I do know that feeling, especially like dinner time or movie time.
Oh,
like
yeah.
just being
that
Knowing
together.
you're just not alone.
Right.
You have this system.
That is a feeling, you know, and of course, as you get older, everybody goes their own way, and you get together on the holidays, and then you fight. You know,
Perfect.
well, not fight, but you know, but yeah, no, those are some of my fondest memories, like, you know, especially around the holidays and stuff like that, and yeah, definitely family stuff. Family. I was a family oriented kid, and I love that. So
Yeah. Do you guys still get together every holiday, or?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
We still do the thing.
Okay.
I still, you know, like I said, my people, they've all went down to Florida, or most of them. So, you know, we got the holidays coming up, so I'll be heading down there
Nice.
probably for Christmas. I used to do, you know, go Thanksgiving, come back, then go to for Christmas. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm tired of taking that beating.
Yeah.
That trend. Not at that time of year, man. I can only do that once. So what I do is alternate now. One year I do Thanksgiving. I'll see you next on Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because doing that, I did it for a little while, and I was like, no, I'm not cut out for this. You know, it's just too hectic.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
What was the best piece of advice you received growing up?
Oh, easy. And I've always applied it. Stay humble. Stay grounded. You know what I mean? Because I think, like, I was never that person who was full of himself, or I'm this, I'm that. You know, there's a lot of that going on in the industry.
Right.
A lot of guys, not saying any names, but a
Yeah.
lot of guys, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm so and so.
Yeah. I think so. This was my philosophy when I joined.
Yeah.
I can't control how I'm going to be perceived. And I think a lot of people get in and that frustrates them. So then they like almost double down on projecting and trying to make you feel and make you see them as they want to be perceived. But if you're going to do anything, it's going to be on the internet. You got to, like you said, have thick skin, but also like know who you are, but you can't control how people see you.
No, you absolutely cannot. But see, I've always lived by that, just humble, appreciative, you know what I mean? Hey, I just want to do what I can do, you know what I mean? And not be this over the top, you know, flamboyant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, you know, but I was never. So that advice early on, staying grounded, stay humble. That's the way to do it, you know. Soak in. Like, I'm the kind of person, when I go in, I don't go in like, you know, talking a whole bunch of stuff. I go in and, you know, listen. I like to pick things up from people, and you know what I mean? I don't know if that's like a New York thing or Northeast thing, but that's how I am. So definitely the humble part.
Yeah.
For sure.
I feel that from you. Who are some people that have helped you grow?
So, who were the people?
Yeah, just
Well,
either adulthood, childhood.
yeah,
anywhere
I mean,
between.
I've been fortunate that I've met just some incredible people with a lot of knowledge on things, whether it's, you know, book smarts or street smarts or whatever. I've been fortunate that throughout my life, I've just known people like that, you know, people that I could reach out to and, hey, what do you think about this? You know, and not just have them tell me what I want to hear, you know, tell me what's really, you know. So I've got, throughout my life, it's been a blessing. It really has. Even to this day, got a good friend who I consider like a brother of mine, who's older than me, but we talk all the time, and he like helps me keep things in perspective. You know what I mean? Because he knew me before Dredd.
Right.
This is before Dredd. And so he helps to keep me like, you know, will remind me like, you know, even though I would never let that happen anyway. But I think that was the best advice. I think a lot of people should, you know, live by that, you know?
Oh, I love that. What's a life event that shaped you?
I'm sorry?
What is a life event that shaped you?
I gotta think now.
I know.
You're making me think
It's deep.
here. Yeah.
Deep.
It is deep.
Mm-hmm.
A life event that, correct me, that changed me?
Like shaped
me.
you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I would say, you know what shaped me? I'll tell you one thing. There's been a few things, but one thing I've never spoken about. At one point, I was going to go into service. I was going to do the military thing.
Oh.
Yeah. I was going to do it. And I didn't want to do it. I was like cornered into doing it. But I was like, all right, screw it. Okay. And I remember I had this surgery done. It was a corrective eye surgery, you know? And what they used to do, it was called radial keratotomy. They don't even do that anymore. This is old school. And what they would do, because now they use,
LASIK?
yeah,
Yeah.
lasers, quick back then, it was still I know. They would use a scalpel. And you take a scalpel and and they put these incisions in your eye and it corrects the vision, right? So I know. But I was wearing glasses since I was like a little big, thick Coke bottle glasses. You know what I mean? That was me when I was a kid, you know? And I was like, this is the chance for me to finally correct my vision. And as barbaric as it seemed, I was like, okay, I'm all in. You mean to tell me you're gonna fix this problem I've had all my life? Mm-hmm. So I did this surgery, and it worked for a while. But what it did was it left these. It's like you can't see it to the regular eye, But if you look in close, and you could see, right? So I'm excited for the military. I'm going through the motions, the testing and all that. And I'm like, man, am I really doing the right thing with this, right? So it got to the part where you go in for the eye, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that was like, a no-no. So I go in like regular. And as soon as he looked, he was, poking a little, whatever you call that instrument with the light on it.
Yeah.
He said, so how long ago did you have this surgery? So I told him, and he said, well, you're not in. And and that changed everything. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because had I done that, number one, it would have been something that I really wasn't up for.
Yeah.
And number two, I seriously doubt I'm sitting here right now talking to you and everybody. You know what I mean? So so that right there is one thing that really changed me. And if I think about it long enough, I'm sure I could come up with a couple others, but that's one that stands out.
That one physically changed you.
Oh, yeah. That changed the course of my whole life.
Did you have like Steve Urkel glasses?
Oh, I heard Steve. I had the Urkels. Yeah, I call them Coke bottles. It was bad, Yeah. And I remember, when I was younger, girls I had a crush on, I would take them off so it didn't look bad. But then I couldn't see. You know what I mean? Stumbling over things and stuff like that, trying to be a cool kid. But so, I had glasses. I still wear glasses to this day. Aww. Yeah.
Have you ever worn them in a scene?
That's a good question. That is a good question. The answer to that is an emphatic no.
Okay, if we shoot together, I want you.
You want me to put the Coke bottles on?
Yeah.
If you had joined the military, we call them BCGs, which are birth control glasses.
Oh.
Yeah, the big old Coke can ones. Yeah.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's also kind of funny because, I think of you as a really stylish, kind of a suave guy.
Like wouldn't have problems with the ladies.
Yeah, and then so just to kind of imagining you with these really thick glasses, it's almost impossible.
Yeah. No, you know what? I was a late bloomer. I really wasn't sexually active at an age when I should have been. I was a nerdy kid.
Aww.
Yeah, my thing was comic books and wrestling, science fiction.
Yeah.
I was into old horror movies, the old Dracula and Frank. I was a weird kid, I really was. But I was a sexual deviant in my mind. Underneath all that was there.
Right.
I just couldn't let it out, because there was nothing. Girls were like, wait, you mean to tell me the same guy who's doing wrestling moves in his front yard with the big glasses on? I'm not getting with him, it was that kind of thing.
Oh.
So I was a late bloomer, you know. I didn't really start to come into my own. You know, things started to heat up when I was in college, you know, for the little bit of college that I went to. But then when I got into the lifestyle, the swinging lifestyle,
okay.
that's when I was like, ooh, this is fun. You know, like all those years, the suppression, it all came out. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, who's next? You know.
When did you know?
The size thing?
Yeah. Like when were you aware that it was you were well endowed?
Well, okay, yeah. I thought, and I'm telling you, I tell people this, and they don't believe it, and it's the God's honest truth. I always thought every guy had what I had. Yeah, I'm telling you. I thought.
You didn't like shower in high school I guess you probably didn't do sports.
I did. I did. No,
Okay.
I actually, as I got older, when I got older, I
Okay.
did. Because I started to get height. I started to get tall. So, you know, once like the coaches at the school saw that, you know, they're like, no, wait, well, not the size. Not that. I'm talking the size, the height size.
okay,
Right.
yeah.
They were like, we got to get you out, you know, playing some sports kind of thing. But no, I just thought it was normal, you know? And so I didn't realize it lifestyle those days when I got into, when I started swinging, it was like just from people that I was playing with,
Right.
you know? The women would all, oh my God. Look down and look up, you know. and I would initially, I used to think like, what is there something wrong? What do you see? They're like, this is massive, you know. And so that's when it hit me, and then it was really solidified when that's how I got into porn.
Right.
Yeah, the size thing, like it was a contest.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, well,
Well, I was like, you know, look, I'd always had a thing for porn. Okay, when I was a kid, I discovered it at a young age. But the thing was, these guys were looking for a new character, porn character.
right.
Good personality, but well endowed. We want a big. So if you think you're the guy, send us a picture of your junk. You know.
Lovely.
So I was working at
Great resume.
I was working at just a regular job at the time, and I was like, this is the opportunity I was looking for. Because, you know, back then, you know, you had to kind of know somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody if you were a guy. A lot easier for a girl, but still not as easy as it is now. And so I was like, well, I think this is my shot, you know. Went into the bathroom. I think I had a digital camera because at that time, you know, it wasn't like an iPhone, a digital camera. So I'm getting it chubbed up and getting ready and, you know, take the picture and sent it in. Said, okay, we'll see what happens. And then they called me the next day.
Yeah.
Said, you're the guy.
You're the guy.
True story. We've been looking at dicks all day and you're the one. You know what I mean? So.
I love that.
Yeah, true story.
True story. If you had to describe your
Right.
I'm all getting red.
All
if
good.
you had to describe your personality as a flavor, what would it be?
As a flavor? As a flavor, I would say something like
Something cream filled?
Greenfield. Right. No. One of those, just something that's got a lot to it. Because I think my personality, there's so much doing there. It's not bland. It's not, you know, so something kiwi. I don't know.
Kiwi. I like that.
How's that?
Yeah. And it's sweet and it's,
There you go.
There's a lot
Kiwi.
more to it.
Right.
It's a little furry.
A little furry. Right. A little furry.
Not too furry.
Yeah.
What is your cheat meal?
Cheat meal. Well, it's funny you say that because, you know, look, about maybe 4 years ago, I was at my peak physical condition. Lumi, I connected all the dots for the first time in my life, you know? eating right, exercising. And then I was, exclusively shooting for Jules. And how Jules shoots, it's, full body, So I was like, man, I got to get myself right, man. If I'm doing this, man. So I really, for the first time ever, so I was rocking. Now, I say all that to say to you, I regressed. fell off, and just was eating anything and everything. And I'm now starting to reel it in again. So I've got the regiment, and, the weekends is when I cheat. So to answer the question, I had to do the build up there. You notice how I did that. To answer the question, I'll cheat with, you're right, something with a cream filling. All of that to go in a circle,
Right.
But no, seriously, something sweet, something that I know I shouldn't be eating, but I'm like, well, screw it. I can.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do for that kind of rush once you do porn.
Yeah, it's true.
But it is funny because it's little things like that. Like,
yeah. I know.
I shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
I'm so bad.
And then the immediate guilt afterwards, you know what I mean? I never feel good about it. Man, I just ate that lemon meringue pie, man.
Oh,
I'm
my
proud of
God.
myself.
Good. You deserve it.
Yeah.
You probably burn all those calories fast.
Yeah, like I said, it's a work in progress. I'm working it out, getting there. You know, it's not easy when you get older.
I get it. Yeah. What are some unpopular food opinions that you have?
Unpopular food opinions? Oh, I got a good one. My unpopular food opinion is, and for all my Louisiana Cajun fans, I'm sorry. I'm just not big on like Cajun food at all, man. I detest it.
That's actually the only like flair of my descent that I have. I'm Creole.
You like it?
No, I'm Creole.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So you know about the gumbo and all that. I can't eat. If you were to bring a bowl of gumbo in here to me right now and I'm kind of hungry, I'd go,
Nah, I'm good.
I just don't, I don't know. I can't explain it.
It's
Yeah.
an acquired taste.
Right.
Because it's also like, I mean, you're Caribbean descent, so it's real. I feel like that's more like, there's just a lot more flavor in that.
Yeah.
But New Orleans is people from France that came there, and then
Gotcha.
also the Caribbean. And
Right.
then they tried to make something, and now that's why there's stuff like red beans and rice, too. I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
That pairing is weird. Yeah, every Thanksgiving, my dad's side of the family does gumbo, red beans and rice,
Right.
potato salad, cornbread.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gets a little
And-
played out after a while.
Yeah,
I got
because I'm like, every Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
There's no gravy for any of this.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
I understand it.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. I think we have some fan questions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have some fan questions and
Sure.
a handful of questions from us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me pull up. Sorry, I wasn't ready. Let me pull up the fan question really quick. Okay. So from Chris Martz 20, Dredd, what keeps you motivated to create new content, and what are some challenges that have been throughout your career?
What keeps me motivated is the fans, to be honest with you, at this point. Yeah. I mean, other than just like my desire still to perform, it's still there. It's still strong. But when fans from all different ages and different walks of life say things like, man, we love what you're doing, me and my wife or me and my girlfriend, that kind of thing. We watch it and, we just like keep going, that motivates me like more than anything. You know what I mean? For sure.
So, since working with Lumi, I've been learning a lot about the industry, and I've heard like some people talk about how when they get their like, adult film name, they kind of like make a character for that person.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, like, how different is Dredd from, your government name? Like, are they basically the same person, or is there like Dredd's a little bit different than how you are when the cameras
When
are
the
off?
cameras are rolling.
Dredd
Yeah.
is the alter ego. Dredd is, he's a whole different guy from the government guy. He's a cool, laid back character who likes to perform at a high rate. You know what I mean? And that's it. Yeah, it's a night and day.
Oh, that's so cool.
Night
Yeah.
and day. Yeah.
Do you think that is kind of like because of your like you used to like comic books, so it's like Dredd's the hero, you know? Does that make sense?
Or
like,
maybe, or
that's
kind
a
of the
good point.
villain.
oh yeah, yeah.
Right. No, there's something to that. I mean, a lot of people have it wrong with my name. You know, they think, well, maybe he named himself that because of his hair. No, maybe he named himself that because, girls will dread working with him. I'm like,
Oh, no.
Maybe he's a fan of Judge Dredd. I'm like, no, I've never even seen that movie, to be honest with you. But no, it was just a knee jerk kind of, what are you going to call yourself? And
That's what came out.
it just flowed out. And I
He
don't
was
know
born.
why. I wish I had a better answer as to how it came about, but it really was a knee jerk deal. And then it just stuck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's easy. It's right there. I don't know, when you see it on the cover of things,
Yeah.
it's just,
I know.
It's a great marketing name because it's nothing similar to it.
Right.
It's just
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
it's great.
I'm thankful that it caught on and it stuck, and I'm running with it. So, that's it. And actually, I got a site coming up soon. You know what I mean?
Promote
and
that.
I don't know if you go on my Twitter page, you'll see the design, the logo for it, which is really cool. I'm really proud of that. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So
yeah.
Do you say it was a knee jerk thing because that's where it hits on you?
right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my.
Yeah.
something actually that popped in my head that Lumi just said. So let's say Dredd is in a comic book. Is Dredd a villain or a hero?
Oh, he's a hero.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely a hero. He's not a villain. He's a good guy. He's just like a sexual freak. He can't get enough.
Saving the world one orgasm at a time.
That's it. People ask me, do you still have like the drive, the desire to, and I'm like, yeah, definitely. I get excited. When I wake up for a shoot, especially if it's a girl I haven't shot with, like it's the first thing I'm thinking about is like how good this is going to go, how it's going to be. So I don't think that's ever going to go away. Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever retire?
My plan is to go until I'm 60. So that's about 30 years from now. Right. But the plan is to I would say I think I'm good because you know what? I feel great.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Nothing slowing down?
Nothing slowing down. The blood's still rushing to the main vein. Right? And so that's a beautiful thing. But as long as I got the desire to do it, because I feel like doing this, it's like with anything else. If the desire to do it is gone,
Right.
Especially with this, because you gotta, we know it's porn, but it's.
But it's also sex.
Yes.
And it's like you don't want to build a bad relationship with sex.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of also seems like I'm a big fan of boxing and MMA, and that's one of those things that like if you're even kind of thinking about retiring, maybe you should stop. And I feel like it's the same way in the adult industry. If you're even having kind of some second thoughts, like maybe it's time to take a break.
Yeah.
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 I've taken, this is probably the longest break I've taken. And because I don't want to
Right.
overwork it, and I don't want to ever feel
Like you have to
like,
do it.
I don't want to dread going to the set.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I took a break. A break for me is like
2 days.
Yeah, really. No. I took a much needed. That was the longest I've taken a break, and since I've been doing it, and that was about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and you know what? It felt great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's always good to reset.
for sure.
Don't want to don't want to push yourself in this industry. Pretty much like athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's impressive. 2 weeks. Yeah,
Two
that's pretty great,
weeks,
yeah.
and I'm not gonna lie to you. After week 1, I was itching. You know what I mean? Every female that walked by me, I was like, "Hold on, excuse me, let me just check her." Okay, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I was ready after that. After about a week, but it felt good, like just from a physical standpoint. You know what I mean? To kind of recharge, reset, call it what you will, but yeah.
Yeah, I respect that. I'm kind of like similar in the sense where like the only time I take days off is like the holiday, and then I go back to work. And then every year I tell people like, yeah, I'm not even gonna work January,
Right.
and then I still work. And like even this year, I say I'm not gonna work January, and I literally already filled something there. It's like, that's what I'm gonna do in January.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you were kind of talking a little bit about retirement. What does that look like for you? Is it like just retiring from on screen, or do you think you ever go behind the scenes and work?
I don't know. That's possible. I mean, probably just kind of sitting back and doing things that I didn't have the chance to do, while I was doing all this, and just kind of living life that way. But I mean, again, my plan is to do this until I can't do it anymore, So, and I'm thinking that's going to be still a long time from now. But when I hang it up, it's done. Like there won't be. I'm going to go from this to that. I think I'm just going to be gone. But that could change. Yeah, that could change. For sure.
I don't know why. I just imagine you like hanging it up and just like putting your dick on like a coat.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. No, thank God I finally got that mold made.
Yeah.
So that there's
You're like, here you go.
Yeah. There's like proof, like
I'm out there.
when people see it like, 30 years down the road, they're gonna go, this really existed? This was real?
It's like it's a fossil.
Like a fossil, like a relic, In a museum, right? And over there is the Dredd dong. That was the
Dredd
real
dong.
thing back,
I hope it's the only thing aliens find,
Right. Yeah.
And that's why they left. Like they saw
They're like,
that and like,
whoa.
whoa, we're turning
we're
back.
outta here.
Yeah.
Thank God he's extinct. Yeah.
So, on a serious note, how do you walk? How are you sitting cross-legged right now?
Because you know what? That is the magic of the penis. The penis can the penis can at times it could just be, just a cute little tiny thing. It could be. And then other times it could be angry and aggressive and mean and big. But no, it's not just like naturally hanging. You know what I mean? I gotta have there's gotta be some kind of a stimulation, But that being said, one of my semis, it's a sight to see.
I do kind of like how you disproved all the man spreading stuff. Like, like people on the bus that are like all spread out, and like you don't have to do that. If Dredd
don't
can
have to
sit,
do that.
Dredd can sit cross-legged.
You're not that big.
Right.
You don't need to be all spread out.
Now, on that note, one funny thing that did happen at AVN, this was like 2 years ago. It was like it was jam-packed. Everybody's trying to get into the bathrooms. And when I got in, I remember I got in a stall, and for whatever, like my pants fell down a little. So this guy who was behind me, he saw that because I was like trying to pull him up. He was like, "Damn, it's that big, man!" I was like, I just started laughing right there. That was so funny. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, a real ankle clanker, as I like to call it.
Yeah. For sure.
So I know we're talking about, having to perform, and you do openly advise against having to take, some sort of stimulants. How do you have any suggestions to naturally, get in the mood and stay that way?
I mean, look, there are guys who do it. Listen, those guys, the old school guys, I can't say 100% for sure. I'm not around them, but I often think of porn like in the 70s, And who knows, maybe back then there was something you take, whatever. But guys who had to do it without before Viagra or Cialis or anything like that, lot of respect for those guys, as that it is not easy, Now, I wouldn't advise somebody. You want to do it without that. You really do. I think so. So I would say if you're gonna try to do it without, I don't know. See, I think you got to have a lot of experience under your belt to go about. Like when I was in the lifestyle, which I did for like 10 years, I really wasn't messing around taking anything. That was just like regular, you know what I mean? And
just off vibes.
Off vibes, you know what I mean? But once, again, in the arena, the porn arena, it just, for me personally, I felt like, no, I need a little help here. You know what I mean? A little something to help get me through. But I wouldn't advise it because, again, it's not, I think you should try and do it without taking anything. So my advice would be to try to get as much experience under your belt. I think that would help.
He's pretty much just saying, go get a lot of tail.
Get a lot of tail. Go out there and just bang away.
I mean, it's like what you said before. You got to have the desire.
Got to be there. Yeah.
Because I feel like it's mostly I feel like it's more normal now with the newer guys that have joined the industry.
Oh, yeah. Because there's so many new.
Yeah.
The floodgates have opened up.
Yeah, I heard this is the time where there's been the most amount of male talent.
Easy to see. You know what I mean? It's like, and see, that's the thing. Back in the day, because I'm the old person in the room now. Back in the day, with porn, there would always be, that was like one of the criticisms. Like, it was always like the same guys, People are like, man, it's always these same couple guys we see all the time. And there was a reason for that, because those guys were dependable, reliable, you know what I mean? Now, oh my God. And I'm not saying guys aren't, but it's just every time you look, there's like new guys coming in, And I mean, now, of course, there's other things that guys do, to kind of keep it going. So I don't know, man. It's like wild, wild west right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This was such a cool episode. It was really nice seeing a different side of you. I'm still like, it's still kind of tripping me out that you were like this nerdy guy growing up.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of like living every nerd's dream, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure. No, I can relate to them. I can for sure. A lot of my fans, that I've, who know that side of me, the science fiction and the comic books and all that, I'll pull out my X-Men collection and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Yeah. I'm like, but no, it's real. I'm really, so yeah, it's a different thing, but I'm not ashamed of it at all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So maybe some have you been to Comic-Con?
That I've came close, but never got around to it.
Do you think? Yeah, because I feel like for someone like you, it'd be hard to enjoy because you're gonna get stopped all the time, right? Yeah, and you just want to be a fan.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I get recognized a pretty good amount, and something like that, I would definitely not want that kind of attention. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'd want to really soak in.
You gotta wear a mask or something.
Yeah, disguise or something.
Or you can fully, because Comic-Con, you can just do full cosplay.
Right.
Yeah.
I could roll up as Colossus and nobody will know anything.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe like a rapid fire, what were some of your favorite comics and superheroes and sci-fi stuff?
Ooh.
Oh man, okay, easy. That's okay. I was a big, huge X-Men fan way back in the day. If not X-Men, I was Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Teen Titans, all that kind of stuff. Science fiction. Star Trek, obviously, clearly the Star Wars stuff, 100%. And yeah, my other nerdy thing was the wrestling thing, back in the days when I believed pro wrestling was real. I would argue with people, no, there's real blood. I'm telling you, it's real, you know.
When did people figure out it wasn't, or was that just a personal experience?
I'll tell you when I figured out. I'll make it quick. I'll tell you when I figured out because I was sold. You know, see, back then in the late 70s, early 80s, wrestling was put out like it was real, more so than now. You know what I mean? So I remember, you know, they had these characters that like couldn't speak English. So I was like, man, they don't even understand the English language, you know, but they're in there, they're wrestling. So I remember, long story short, me and a good friend of mine, we got tickets. His mother got us tickets to go to this event out on Long Island. And my friend was on crutches at the time. So it was cold outside. So we got there early. And they said, one of the security guys saw my friend and he was like, oh man, this guy with the crutches. He said, hey, you guys come in early. You know what I mean? So we were like, oh shit, we're going to see the Samoans maybe, or, you know, whoever we're going to see. So we went in. And some of our favorite guys who supposedly couldn't speak the English language or anything, they're sitting there having coffee, you know, smoking a cigarette, you know, chilling. And I was like, wait a minute. They're not supposed to be doing that. You know what I mean? So I learned, right, that was when the gig was up. Yeah. That was it.
Damn.
Okay, sorry, because I'm such a big Star Trek fan.
Go ahead,
What was your favorite series?
Oh, the originals, man.
Oh, the originals? Yeah.
I was a huge fan of the originals. Yeah, William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy. I was infatuated with that. I remember one of my biggest things when I was a kid was I got my mother to get me the shirt. You know, remember those old school shirts?
Yeah.
With the little, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, the
Oh my
little
gosh.
gold thing in it on chest. Oh, God, I think I wore that like 2 weeks in a row straight.
Oh my God.
You know? But I was that kind of, I had the books. I was reading
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
reading the books and all that stuff.
Yeah, I know a lot of people say like Next Generation is their favorite. It's probably the most popular, but I was such a big fan of Deep Space Nine because it was so
was
different.
cool. Yep.
Yeah, it was just like it was like the exact opposite of Star Trek.
Right.
They were just in place and everyone came to them. So you got to see all these like interesting people.
What's the one, I haven't seen it yet, but there's one that is out now. I think it started like a year ago. And it's set for like when it was Captain, not Kirk, but the captain before him.
Well, I know there was like Enterprise. That's old though. That was like the first ever. It was like the first ever captain.
Yes.
Was Enterprise.
Right.
Yeah, that was Enterprise.
Okay.
Trying to remember. I just remember Scott Bakula played it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that one was cool because like the teleportation wasn't working right, and there was like no warp drive, so it was just like
Gotcha.
all wonky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enterprise is good. Yeah, anytime they kind of like mess with the formula, I'm always a fan.
Yeah.
just to get some like Voyager was cool because again another opposite where they're trying to get back to Earth
Right.
instead of like exploring.
I loved it.
Yeah.
All of that stuff, I can eat that up.
We'll have to have you back on.
Yeah.
Just talk Star
just,
Trek.
just so you
Yeah.
two can
I'll
talk
just-
about Star Trek.
Nerd
Yeah.
out, geek out together.
That's for sure. Okay, thank you so much.
Where can the
where
fans-
can you find you? And let's talk about your website one more time.
Yeah,
Well,
let's promote
okay.
it.
Well, I mean, you can find me, you know, on X, Dredd XXX there, and you know, also the Dredd Dong is available through. The Dredd Dong is available at Doc Johnson. The website, which I'm really excited about, Official Dredd XXX will be launching hopefully early next year, and yeah. Those are the streets and avenues I'm going down.
Are you on Instagram?
On Instagram, I'm glad you asked me that.
Yeah, because there's so many fake profiles.
There's a
on
lot of fake.
X and
I got a lot of
Insta.
fake ones on there, but I am the real Dredd KRS on Instagram, and that's pretty much all my socials right there.
Like KRS-One?
Like, yeah. How do you know about that? You know about him?
Yeah.
That's where I got it from. I love
Okay.
that guy. Yeah. Big KRS-One guy.
Well,
For
there
sure.
you go. And you guys know where to find me. And make sure to comment, like, subscribe, tell us what you thought, and make sure you check out Dredd's new website.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yay.
Love it.